I'm Keith Evans. I'm a lead designer here at Redstorm on The Division.
I'm Terry Spear, the creative director here at Redstorm on The Division.
So today we're actually going to talk about one of the features coming in update 1.8, the new PvP 4 versus 4 mode, Skirmish.
Get your PvE out of my PvP. There it is, right there. That's the tagline.
It's what people have been wanting for a while.
Yeah, I'm actually going to put on, while we're talking about this, I'm actually going to put on a video taken from Skirmish. And people are going to get a first look at what the game mode actually looks like. There won't be any sound, but let's have a discussion about it while that's playing.
Perfect.
Excellent.
I love that the player in question here is called Faye is Bay, which is awesome. So first of all, just to talk about what we're actually seeing, I know you guys aren't, but we have this intro screen where you see the 4 people from your team.
That's correct. It was big important for us to really showcase our characters for the first time. Show the player your 4-man squad, and we have a lot of sexy stuff people can put on. So
Absolutely.
Let's get up close and personal and let people see it, and also let people inspect. That's something we're going to go on a little bit later, but the best person in the match, you're going to be able to inspect them and see what gear they're wearing, see what weapons they have and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be actually a really good kind of teaching tool for players getting up to speed with PvP who maybe didn't jump in before.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And maybe it's a little secret. I'm going to give a secret. Ready
Go
for a secret? You're going to be able to do an emote when you're on that screen. So, you can select a certain emote, put it in a slot, and you can do a little backflip, do the Macarena, whatever you want to show your teammates that you know how to do. You'll be able to do that on that screen.
That's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, that's a secret, though, just for State of the Game people. Don't tell anyone else.
So we were talking about Skirmish, and as I said, we're watching it on the screen right now. How big is a Skirmish arena?
So they're kind of they're new arenas, right? So they're totally kind of their own contained spaces, but I'd say they're roughly the size of some of our largest landmarks or extraction zones. So think maybe like Bryant Park or some of the rooftop gameplay up in DZ 8 and 9. Mm-hmm. They're pretty big, but they're all about getting you into combat quickly, right? We want to minimize run times.
Yeah. So. If I had another phrase to coin, it'd be less running, more gunning, baby.
Oh dear.
That's actually
God.
We're gonna sell T-shirts with that on it. So.
Yeah.
But just
he's right. Bryant Park, that side. We custom built these things. They're for this 4v4 size, so they're pretty optimized for that.
Let's just make one thing clear. There are no, compared to Last Stand, which is these huge areas you fight in, there are no NPCs, anything like that. This is just pure team deathmatch from start to finish.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we've kind of redone the spawning system. So you come in waves with your teammates. Like if you have a team wipe, you all come in together, kind of close in proximity, and you can charge back into battle. It's probably an average of at most 10-second run times until you're back in a fight.
And that's tops, man. That's tops.
So moving on to how the scoring in Skirmish actually works. We see a counter here at the top of the screen. Currently it says 5 and 3. What do those numbers mean?
So, we obviously have a lot of ways to revive players. So scoring actually takes effect when you send someone all the way to the death screen, right? So you down them, but you have to get up and finish them. That scores a point. So if you are playing tight with your team and you're reviving people and you're getting people back up and popping recovery link at the right moment, you can actually take points from the other team and kind of, even the odds a little bit more.
Yep. You're essentially counting to top kills.
Right. So what's looking at ranks? Last Stand has ranks, UG has ranks, etc. How does that kind of ranking work in Skirmish?
Well, what we're doing, we're taking the Last Stand rank actually and repurposing it. So we're gonna make that the PvP rank. That might not be what we call it at the end of the day, but you can rank up this PvP rank in Last Stand or Skirmish. We know there's a lot of people already at max rank, so we have plans for rewards. But essentially, in a match of Skirmish, it's gonna function a lot like it does in Last Stand, where you're earning XP for actions that you do, and at the end of the match, that will accrue, and you'll have a total, and that will apply to the rank. And and then you'll creep up and have the potential to earn skirmish caches, and then post rank 40, right? Keith, we're raising the rank.
We're raising the rank. So, we know a lot of people are already sitting at the max rank. There will be a lot of new players jumping in who maybe haven't played Last Stand yet. So we're going to bump the rank up all the way to 99 and give you this thing to keep building towards. But then taking it one step further, at set increments after post rank 40, we'll be giving better rewards, unique rewards like classified caches.
Classified caches, everybody.
That's right.
Yeah. So again, this will give players the opportunity who don't have Last Stand to increase that rank. You can earn the vanity and items that you weren't able to earn, before, and now you can push all the way to 99 and get classified caches. The GE's over. How do I get classy caches? That's awesome. It's important to note also that skirmish is normalized, right? Before we talk about scoring, we talk about rewards and all that stuff. This is just like Last Stand. It's a normalized play. I wanted to point that out before we got any further.
Right.
I know we'll talk about balance later, but
absolutely.
Yeah. Looking at kind of the end screen, I've actually seen this video before, and we're going to get to it sooner or later while this is running. There's this scoring board as well. What kind of activities do you expect people to do during a skirmish match? What kind of activities are they rewarded for?
Oh, to earn XP, you mean?
Yeah.
The similar gamut. When you down someone, when you finish them, if you assist on the kill, healing, reviving, all those things.
Yeah, it's the ones that we had in Last Stand. But one new way to score extra points is if you were the person who put someone in that down state, when they're actually finished and score a point for your team, you get an extra mark that kind of boosts your score even higher.
All right, cool. So how does matchmaking work in Skirmish?
You'll love it. I'm sure you'll love it.
Oh, yeah. No, so it's, we're kind of, once again, we're building on Last Stand. We have a matchmaking rank behind the scenes that keeps track of your overall, win-loss, kill-death, your recent performance, and it's trying to put you with other similarly skilled players. And then we've taken that kind of one step further, like Terry mentioned, in that pre-round screen where you see your whole team. The person on your team with the highest matchmaking ranking, that's the person up front. That's the person kind of front and center that you can inspect and kind of see what's he doing. What is his exact KD? What is his build?
Yep.
His or her build.
Right. And how long are the matches? How have you balanced kind of the length of play of a skirmish match?
Well, I think the PTS will help us really dial that in. As it stands right now, you're going to a kill count of 20 or a timer of 10 minutes.
Yeah, so they're pretty snappy matches. We want these to be kind of a fast, session-based activity that you just kind of jump in and play a few really intense matches.
All right, cool. I think the match is slowly coming to a stop here on the screen, actually. They're going to let it run all the way, but we are going to talk about one more thing when it comes to update 1.8 that we haven't talked about before. It was hinted in certain articles that you would be able to do this. Oh, here's the victory screen now. I'm teasing it a little bit more, keeping people a bit interested. So there you go. There's the end screen.
And it's not final.
Yeah,
No.
We're still iterating, but we're getting there.
Yeah.
What is gear optimization?
That's a great question. I guess the best way to sum it up is it's the next evolution of gear improvement. You could already recalibrate, right? And there were some limitations on recalibration that we placed on you, and then we gave you the classified gear, and we said, hey, now you can recalibrate 2 stats. And now we're giving you the next step, right, which is essentially gear optimization, which will allow players to chase the ultimate build.
Yeah, chase the perfect build.
Yeah, chase it, baby. God rolls around the corner.
So
that's what it is.
What kind of items is included in this system?
So you're going to be able to optimize, all your weapons and your 6 gear slots. So your chest piece, mask, things like that. And when you kind of optimize it, you're really going in, and anything that's not min-maxed, you're bumping slightly higher on that stat, right? And you can kind of incrementally push towards the perfect min-max build.
Right. So why are you doing this instead of like the typical way we've done it before when it comes to increasing the power level of the players in the world? We've introduced a new world tier. Why aren't you doing that this time around?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Actually, we've had some great discussions about that with the ETF. ETF, what's up? Ultimately, we came to the fact that the conclusion that we just didn't want to reset people's progress on all the gear that they've spent time accumulating, over the life of the summer.
Absolutely.
And so, why not take a new approach? Why not? I mean, there's more stuff we're going to talk about how this works practically in the game, but essentially with gear optimization, we're revamping a lot of the visualization behind the gear and the numbers and that system. Give you something new to chase, give you new activities to chase that stuff in, stuff like resistance and stuff that will really test your power level. When you push the button and say new world tier, that's cool because sure, everything gets harder and we're going to increase the difficulty in other ways, but I didn't want the reset button. I didn't think Keith didn't want it either.
Yeah, I think, we have a lot of rare gear now, right? And we've set these goals for players, like collect the classified gear as it's coming out, gather your exotics. And a lot of people are still pushing towards that goal, and we have so much more to release, right? There's so many more carrots to put out there. There's a lot more stuff to find, and it's just not the time.
Yep.
Right. So how does it work when I log in the first time? How does it work practically in the game?
Oh, Keith, are you ready?
Yeah, so when you log into 1.8 the first time, you're on your character select screen, you see your gear score. It's not going to say 256 anymore. Yeah, so the gear score is now reflective of the quality of the rolls of on all your items. So if you have a really good armor roll and a really high primary stat and majors and minors, your gear score is going to be closer to the cap. So the new gear range for World Tier 5 is 256 is now that's the bottom line. That's what everyone was at. No one's going to go below that unless you start equipping World Tier 4 gear or something. And you can push up to 286. A lot of excitement to every gear drop, right? We're so used to seeing a gear set, green loot pillar, and it's just well, I already have all that stuff, right? I guess I'm going to sell it. Well, now it's I go up and I look at it, and if that thing drops with a 282 gear score, I'm slotting it in. It's going to be better than what I have. Maybe I reroll one stat, It makes every loot drop a little bit more exciting.
Yeah, it's super, super exciting. It's all kind of wrapped into one. This new visualization, the gear optimization. So, just imagine going to this new optimization station. I'm sure we'll talk about this in a minute, but there will actually be a place in Camp Clinton in the terminal next to the recalibration station. It's going to be an optimization station. You're going to take your gear there, and you're going to watch that number climb every time you go and optimize it. And so you get this physical, this tangible reward and visual identification that you are better, right, than you were before. I think
Absolutely.
It's huge.
But now DTech and the default e-credit currency, those are going to be used to at that optimization station. So I'm telling you right now, if you want to start doing some DTech runs, it will be useful. And we're going to add a lot more ways to get DTech in 1.8. A lot of places around Westside Piers.
Yeah, I think the Dark Zone, again, we'll play with all this stuff, but I think the Dark Zone will be the most lucrative place to get DTech. But as we talked about on the last day of the game, it's going to be in Westside Piers. And as Keith mentioned, there'll be other ways to get it as well. But DTech e-currency, that's the juice that you need to optimize your gear.
The biggest thing that's changing is that, before you could go in and recalibrate your stats and your majors and minors, but you couldn't touch your armor roll, right? If there was a very rare piece of gear and you finally get the drop and you inspect it for the first time and you see it has just a bottom barrel armor roll, that piece is basically trash to you, right? You have to throw it away. Now you can take it to the optimization station, invest in this piece, and improve the armor roll all the way up to its max. So in terms of really raw power, that chasing that 35% armor is kind of the best thing that you can push for. It makes you feel a lot more resilient.
Yeah, players have played with this power curve before, but you've never been able to see it or feel it in PvE because there was random elements. Now we're taking random out of the equation. Obviously there's still RNG with the drops, but now you can take an active role in making that the best piece of gear because that's the one you wanted. And now you can go get that flawless legendary run, you know. And yes, that means you can take that into the dark zone. That's not normalized, right? So I'm sure we'll have a conversation about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's actually going to hopefully kind of push people to want to go in the dark zone, right? Because before you come up with someone against someone with that perfect min-max build, and you just haven't had as much luck, that is a tough fight for you, right? Now, if you've invested in your build and you're looking at it and you're like, every roll is as good as I can get it. My gear score is 286, or possibly a little bit higher if you have invested in some classifieds. You can have the confidence to go in and take on the unnormalized PvP.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be super awesome.
Yeah, no.
All right, awesome. There's actually, I have some paper here, and at the top of my paper, speaking of balance, I'm just going to jump in real quickly because people are asking about it in chat as well. Last week when Yannick was playing, we kind of got a little Easter egg there. What's happening with stamina, guys?
We have detectives, apparently, that are watching State of the Game, because like immediately there was like a breakdown on Reddit of what was happening. But yeah, we are adjusting stamina and toughness for, you know, endgame players. You know, previously it had always been 1 stamina is 30 toughness, 1.6 took that back to 1 to 15. You know, with all the new power and the new DPS that we're letting players have, we feel really comfortable bumping that back up. It's going to once again let players push further in PvE content. It's going to let you push to higher waves in resistance. And yeah, it makes the game just overall feel more consistent in the time to kills.
Yeah, and of course you're going to say, wait, doesn't that make it spongier, Keith? Not necessarily. You know, some of the classified gear, we're giving you reasons to push into the stamina build. We won't go into details about that, but you know, the increased DPS and things like that, it feels good.
Yeah, it feels great. And this is one we've been playing with for a while, so I can't wait to get it on the PTS.
Yeah.
So let's jump real quickly back into gear optimization, and with the new gear score, or with the gear score being up through optimization, how about new dark zone brackets? Is that something?
No, again, the power levels that players are going to be playing with are the same, right? So you'll go up against, right now, if you jump into the dark zone, there's potentially someone running at the level of 286. You just don't know it, right? There's no way to visualize that. So in that sense, it's going to feel the same. Now, I'll be more powerful because I'll be able to optimize my gear. We're essentially telling everyone that you can be that guy who kills everyone in the dark zone, you know, or you can feel that. We don't need a new tier for these players because they're already all playing together. We're just giving you a way to better differentiate all of that.
Now you can just feel your character getting, you know, more powerful with time.
Yeah, we're taking luck out of it essentially.
Yep.
All right. Speaking of the dark zone, in the dark zone, you can go rogue. We're not going to talk about that today, but can we give a little tiny spoiler of what people can expect during State of the Game next week?
Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah, Rogue 2.0, that's what we're calling it. A whole bunch of changes. I get shaky thinking about it because I love the dark zone. But as a teaser, one of the big elements of Rogue 2.0 in the dark zone is that friendly fire will now be off in the dark zone. There will be no friendly fire in the dark zone, which means you have a button press. There is a toggle to go rogue. No more accidental rogue. No more chasing manhunts and then accidentally hitting your buddy and then having the whole group turn
to you because you're the weak prey at that moment.
We'll talk all about what that button press means, how you do it, and all the other changes. There's a lot of them. We'll talk about next week.
That was like the smallest little piece of it.
Yes.
So, but yeah, footage next week.
Spread the word.
Blow it up.